Hello everybody, welcome to the stream tonight here in VR Master League. Sorry for the brief delay. I know you guys are waiting for the first match here in North America. At least one of two matches starting at the same time. And no doubt one of the hypest matches. Although as you can see over there in the lobby, we might be missing a few players. And, well, we're just going to wait it out for a small while, given that we do have on VRML Channel 2 a match currently ongoing and being streamed there. It's Ace versus Skull Crusaders, and so much for subtleties camming that, along with SirDimwi on the casting end of things. So if you do want to tune into that, definitely feel free to. Only reason we're not skipping this match in particular is because Subtlety and Dimwi's match started on time on Channel 2, so we'll be able to redirect creamy milk, and maybe this is a good thing. I can avoid having to say creamy milk for the rest of the night after this. So good. Anyway, Sputnik, hello. How's it going?
As everyone's chiming in, 50k channel points. Pog from Rocks Titan, Strambitsky showing his support for Infinite, and then Danimal coming in saying that no, you have to cast my match, Palidore. And Laws are the best saying, what's happening? Well, currently we are waiting for these teams to get into a server that they deem appropriate and then start playing. So we are just waiting at the current moment.
To answer Dano, by the way, real quick, too. Or, oh, Danimal, Shepherd, right. Ha! Like I said, Dano. Yeah, Dano will be casting over there on Chaos later in the night. As far as Danimal, we'll see. Getting a little bit of feedback, by the way, in your mic. But anyway, it's okay. So we do have a lot of matches, 6 or 7 in a row, essentially, back to back. And yeah, just kind of server discussion going on over there in the Discord chat at the moment. So it's kind of out of my hands. All I know is we have, what, 7 minutes until the designated 15 start time. I don't really want to have to get mods involved. It's never fun. But a little bit of conflict, testiness here in the final week, Sputnik.
As Laws of the Best says, snobby Master League teams need the perfect server. Everyone gets a little picky about their latency at the higher end, so unfortunately we are waiting. But maybe if you get up on the upper brackets, you'll start to see how latency makes a huge difference at the high end.
That was toxic, but anyway. I mean, people, I'm one to speak just based on my competitive history. I get it. Pings are a thing. People have their preferences. The thing is, no one, there's not one size fits all as much as people would like it to on the server end of things. Just got to do our best, of course. I mean, it's not the first time these two teams have faced off, especially here at the Master Division. A lot of these teams, the matchups, you know, they're all contesting each other week to week is a thing.
Well, I'd like to also rephrase that last thing I said. I should not have used if you make it. I want to use when you make it. So when you do make it to the upper tiers, you'll start to see how latency is a huge factor. And I apologize for how that comment came off.
Oh, you're fine, my dear Sputnik. That's okay. Good cop, bad cop here. Although. One moment here. Okay, just letting the teams know what the deal is here. Basically, what the rules are on server. They're gonna have to come to agreement here, and then it's gonna be league mods' duties there to kind of manage that if they can't come to a solution.
As the players are just being friendly, and we're waiting, and I guess, like you said, mediation. I don't know. But Laws of the Best coming in saying thank you. You're welcome, and I apologize. It was never supposed to be like that, but sometimes my words don't come off right.
Oh, no worries. We're casters. It's not our job for our words to come off right. We just have to be loud, I think.
It's just everyone practices on Chicago.
But okay, so we're perhaps gonna start. I pinged the teams, let them know they can start if they wish. Or I mean, we have 5 minutes until the more technical rule of 15 minutes within start time is when they need to start. So It looks like maybe we've got an agreement. They're going to play on this server after all. And if that's the case, well, I'm good then. We're good. A lot of streams here tonight, but again, the Creamy Milk and Legends game, in that case, sorry Shepherd / Danimal, but that will be on channel 2, so we don't cause any delays in this 6 or 7 match stream that we have going for tonight. Although I might join, as we do get apparently a crash or something, or someone's hit spectator just before it started. I'm not quite sure.
Well, the neutral joust is underway, and the first shot goes to game. I don't know if they're going to count this, but you got 3 points on the board with very little time off the clock.
Yeah, and it was, presuming that Infinite hit that button before the 10 minutes actually started, I'm thinking that's all good to go. In terms of getting the player back here and just restarting like nothing ever happened. So in the meantime, maybe a brief Q&A, I'm not sure. Looks like we actually got them back in the game, so we're good to go. That's right, I did say game chat. You heard me.
And Visionaries HD coming in with 2 bits and
2
that
bits.
Pogger emote, so
2 bits and a Poggers from Visionaries, aka Ender from Illuminati, preseason champions, and another Master Tier team here in Master League.
as we're trying to get this hype up, as we've had one failed launch to this match, so let's just keep these energy levels up. This is going to be a great game, and we're just waiting for it to start.
Failure to launch. I think that was some movie back in the 2000s. That was probably not all that great, but that's okay. And, well, you know what is great? Oh, Strem, Bolini, Alfredo, Bitsky with the Tier 1 subs. 5 of them, in fact. Thank you so much for that in the clutch. I'm sorry for calling you by the name that I don't think you maybe like all that much, but that's okay. Strem Bobley, you're the best. Thank you. If I could instant replay that sub train, I would replay it for you all over the stream right now. In fact, oh boy, now if it weren't for these players about to start the match, I would almost consider doing a Gopnik over that. Almost. But anyway, it's not meant to be because we got the readies up, so maybe a little later if there's time. And
Lansing coming through with the 100 bits. We have the hype train.
oh dear.
So with the neutral joust underway, let's get this started.
Get what started? Oh wait, we got a game? Yes we do, folks. We've got 2 games in fact. One of them's on Flare, the other one's just in general. A broad game here as the launch goes out for real this time. And the trains, maybe the stacks, but also the hype trains over there in Twitch chat starting to unform. Thank you Ender there for the 4 months of Twitch Prime. And he says in that message, I'm cooler than you Strem. Them fighting words.
So to get that pass back to the backline player and get that give and go, it will be game to Voodoo, back to game. Game juking out that opponent, getting that pass down to Voodoo. Voodoo trying to get it off the geometry, sending it back to Zach, and Zach going for the clear through tunnel.
And now the stack's kind of unfolding, not really bothering too much with the brawls. Will just be a first goal denied, but then put back by Palace. 42 seconds in, there's the first couple points.
A great play from Infinite, able to play quickly in transition, get the first 2 points on the board, and get this match started.
Started the right way after a few tries. You know, we're a persistent community here. Might take us a few tries to launch off, but we got it going, and there's a lot of good things going here in this matchup. So Voodoo getting it to Chrome Platypus on the other end. There's these stacks coming out, but Grumpy looks like doing a great job to deny the brawls in the back line and enabling his team to at least get a chance. But it will be back to Infinite again.
Zach from the bubble up to Andy. Andy laterally passing to Palace as they move up side by side, and that stack comes in. They're set up in that bubble, getting it below the goal and getting this shot to the pocket. Zach from Palace at 4 meters.
So another score there. Very similar from just right up close into that goal. Some good cross passes, as you mentioned, that lateral passing, and then just a shot from right beneath the goal. And yeah, 4 points, 2 minutes in, and Enders, bit by bit, we're getting there 95% of the way to the next level of that hype train, apparently. Well, thank you guys for all that support. And here we go for a shot, maybe, on the goal, but just missing.
An incredibly quick rollout from Flair, just not able to finish that shot on target, but the clear will go back to Grumpius, and Grumpius will get a second chance to start this offensive push.
So back to the Cloud, one of the favorite spots there of Infinite, as another crash happens, but crashing the goal is game here, assisted by Grumpy. And we're going to be seeing now, I can only imagine, a little bit of a timeout. The This actually was an occurrence the other day. Maybe they're not going to take it? Because the first one was technically taken there before the match had started. But I guess we're just rolling on.
We're so low energy, and look at the hype train just ended. We hit level 2, all these bits coming out, but Zach down by 1. Infinite without their 4th player, they'll lose possession of Grumpiest in the bubble.
Well, I suppose for the meantime then, Infinite's going to have to take our energy and use the energy of that hype train to fuel them to coming back here with a, well, back pass trying to get the general direction of Palace, which they do before crossing it to the mid zone.
So Palace up to Zach, and YouTube has just joined us back into this game at 6 minutes and 50 seconds. So a pass will go through the trench, and YouTube coming out, getting that possession and sending it through tunnel, faced with 3 approaching Infinite Flare players.
How about that, too? So for Infinite, just not minding the fact that they lost a player, they were down 1. They got him back in no time, no extra harm done, really, on that play. So we'll be right back to them, and props to Infinite for keeping their heads in it, but couldn't get the goal at that point.
And the clear will go back into the hands of Zach W. Zach sending it to Shield, and taking this wrist flick anchor shot, Andy W. at 7 meters to pull ahead by 3 points, excuse me.
Yeah, 7-2, 4 minutes into this game. Lols of the Best asking what sub perks are here. You get the love of the door, and you get something from Sputnik. Maybe love, maybe I'm not sure what, but you get something. Maybe a Sputnik emoji or something. We'll get there, but in the moment, it's going to be Voodoo getting there for the 4th point on Flare, for Flare, that is.
You get my eternal love and appreciation, and maybe I'll have to work on some more perks too.
Yeah, Sputnik Renegade win.
So with possession back into the hands of Infinite with Joust advantage.
That doesn't answer my question.
YouTube 2QB, YouTube sending it to Palace along the wall, and Palace sending it right down to Andy W, meeting it, and Andy sending it up to Zach. Zach sending right back to Andy, and the stun out from the goalie, perfectly read, not able to get that shot, but finishing it from below is Zach to pick up the rebound.
I don't know about perfectly red, it was more like perfectly blue, because it's a blue goal here for Infinite. 9-4, 5 minutes left in this first round.
I don't even know what Renegade TikTok means, but maybe.
Lanzan saying he'll give 1K bits for it. So I guess you gotta go find out. Cue the OK Boomer memes from Sputnik. But anyways, will be Infinite causing more defense here, or turnovers maybe on defense, but just losing the handle, so backing it out is Flare. They're only down by 5, and we know Flare's passing game is very strong and getting through when they're on point at least, but right now a little bit scrambled.
But they're getting collected. They're taking their time. Grumpiest not under pressure. He's trying to make something happen outside this bubble. Going for that pass up to the upper block and taking that lateral pass and the shot. Chromed a game at 4 meters, a 3-point game, and possession back to Infinite for the Joust advantage.
And that was exactly the slowdown in the passing that they needed. I mean, Infinite was still playing pretty aggressively, but nonetheless, it was Flare working around for the nice and easy deuce there, and rolling out will be Infinite again, trying to push it back up by a couple points maybe. Maybe even a few, who knows, but we'll see as that back line trying to be broken up by YouTube, unable to do so, so it's just going to be a walk into the goal, looks like. 2-on-2 maybe.
These quick rollouts to goal and finding it, Andy, meaning that pass from Palace and dishing it right in as the goalie from Flare came out to predict it, to try and intercept it, but he just wasn't there, and it was an open goal for Andy.
Yeah, so 11-6, and back up by 2 they will in fact go. But the offense, really, that's the big strength of Infinite. They have so many talented strikers, but they have some passing to really match. So they really, you know, when they need to squeeze through the tough individual plays, that they go for the play here with Chrome Platypus, it's game assisting. Back to within 3.
This game has been...
When you have so many talented strikers, and it applies to Flare too, it's kind of dangerous because they open up the easy options with the passing, but then even when they need to really kind of go hard at it and force something that's maybe lower percentage, for teams like this in Master League, the low percent is still high percent oftentimes. It's just they're so talented at the offensive end.
Definitely, and there's just so many offensive rollouts. This game has been completely all offensively sided. These defenses haven't been there to stop the pushes from the offense on the other team. It's all offense.
All offense there in the brawls especially, and getting the disc back, trying to get it anyways as Zach as he inverts and just goes all over the floor there. Same with that disc, but Andy eventually picking it up before dishing it off to Palace. One more to the shoulder and going in for the goal. 13-8, 2:20 left as the hype train there ends, but you know what? The hype will continue on our end. Thank you everyone for the subs, Enders, and Strembitsky, as well as the bits. You guys rock.
Thank you again for those 6 subs. So with Joust advantage to Flair, Flair down by 5. They're getting the pass to mid and then immediately down to floor to Chrome, and Chrome going upper block to Game. He's now pushing outside of the bubble, trying to find a pass, losing it, and then regained by Chrome. Chrome's going to lose it against the wall, and it will be Infinite to recover it on the floor.
So time is starting to not be on the side anymore of Flair in terms of making that comeback, especially with an attack here from Andy. He's just going to walk it in on a pair of defenders and goes left to right and back again and just dunks it home. Nice moves from Andy. He always has creativity when it comes to those close range plays.
Fantastic move, able to take on all of that defense and still find the shot into the bubble. So Joust advantage back to Flair, down by 7 now. Try to get this pass through tunnel. They get it along the ceiling under pressure. Game just gonna send it to his buddy hanging on the rim, but the goalie will find it and send it through tunnel.
They're trying to hold on to it for as long as they could there, bothering YouTube inside the goal. But again, the pressure and the time, adding extra pressure as they try to get a shot here for Infinite, unable to do so, but still 49 seconds left, and they might not even need a score to ice it. They just have to just wait out this clock, basically. But Flair's there going to try for a 3 regardless, but there's YouTube on the recovery.
YouTube under pressure, immediately sending it through mid and looking like an error happened. Palace to lose possession, going back into the hands of Chrome. Chrome going for that pass to post, and then from Shield making the attempt, but YouTube is there to read it, save it, and get the clear out of the bubble.
Nice denial from him there. YouTube, again, back-to-back. Granted that one earlier, obviously, coming from way out deep because Flair has no choice but to just launch those 3s as quickly as they can. But even if they do here, it's just no time left, so 15-8. Barring one last second goal, it's going to still go in Infinite's favor.
And Flair will fall in the first round as Grumpy does tell us that they're changing servers.
Grumpy's about to make Pally grumpy at the moment, but that's okay.
Right,
I'll live.
Same goes for you guys.
Hey, we were waiting on you, man.
And I will hold the line with Palidore. Palidore's not happy.
I'm the worst. This is the most tilted I've been since I got beat by Joker in Season 3 finals. Anyways, qualifiers. Anyways, I didn't make it to finals.
So, looking at these
Anyways.
stats, Chrome coming through with 2 points, Game with 4 points, Voodoo with 2 points, and Chrome with 1 assist, Game with 2 assists. Just a lot of offense from these teams. 1 save from Chrome, 2 saves from Grumpy. Looking at Infinite, we've got Andy W with 7 points, 1 assist, 1 save, and 7 stuns. Andy leading the offensive charge for Team Infinite. Palace coming through with 2 points, 3 assists, the playmaker, 12 stuns. Zach with 5 points, 1 assist, and 1 save. And YouTube coming in with 2 saves. Barring that crash out, we don't know how many saves he made before it, but really a terrific save at the end, that one-on-one save with the player from Flair pushing from the shield. A great play from YouTube in the first round.
And SputnikKobra fan in the chat with a thumbs up on that one. Good stuff. Hi, chat, I'm back. I put on my happy pants, says we're going to get ready to go for the rest of the round. My only kid, of course, the delay is obviously frustrating, more so for the teams afterwards, and that's what it comes down to on the busy nights especially. Like, featuring as much as we can. Otherwise, on a normal day, I don't mind waiting whatsoever. But, winding down the season here, and just wanting to get some of those good matches, and obviously, again, when it comes to the server situation, the teams wanting the same thing, being even on the connections, so the server connections as much as possible, to enable those exciting matches that we love to see. So don't worry. We're going to get there, you and I.
We're all going to make it, all of us together.
Exactly. So about half the players gone off of this server at the moment. And yet to get any invites, but we are getting seemingly a server change. So pardon the delays. You're just gonna have to enjoy these highlights over and over, and me and Sputnik talking over and over. Although if you have any Q&A, you want to do a Q&A kind of thing, send one my way. Hopefully not the same questions I was getting from Anime for Life from Space Force last night. Those were not the kind that I wanted. But either or, yeah. Just got an invite now, so we're going to be switching servers. So thanks for hanging in there again on VRML Channel 2 as well. We do have a match ongoing. Actually, might have ended at this point. It was going to be Ace versus Skull Crusaders, scheduled to start 26 minutes ago. That said, Creamy Milk and Legends is still about to come up here, scheduled to start in 4 minutes, more or less, and that will be on Channel 2 as well, if you guys want to kind of check that out in the meantime.
And looking at chat, we have VTS X King, player of Team Ignite, as well as a streamer coming in with his emojis, and Fresh Boy Set saying those are 10 out of 10 emojis. Those are some of the best emojis I've seen from the Echo Arena community, so I'm going to back up Fresh Boy Set with that review.
Only the freshest of emojis on this Twitch channel. That's what we're made of, after all. Love,
And
happiness, and emojis.
And B-Love saying, how come when I have bad ping, I suck, and then when I have good ping, I still suck?
I'm not sure, because if you take one, you know, that's good, then make it bad. In theory, you should get average, but since you put them both together and you still suck equally, maybe if you take the two, you know, the suckage, and then you cancel them out, double negatives and whatnot, it will result in a positive. Now, how to actually work that out? Not sure, but that is the equation. So good luck with that, B-Love. I trust. Also,
That was a good response. I was just going to say you need practice.
sure. Practice is okay, I guess. But it's hosted for you, Spud, if you want to join that. And we're about to get back into the lobby here right quick. Hopefully, everyone is satisfied with where they are. And we'll be good to go. B-Love saying, practice, talking about practice. Shout out to AI, Allen Iverson there. Famous quote. Notorious, in fact. And, alright, so we're back in it, and these teams are now on opposite sides, it would seem. We're nailing it today, folks, here on stream. But I appreciate everyone's patience just the same.
Now, I got a question for you, Palidore.
Yes, sir.
Steve Nash or
Yes.
Allen Iverson?
How dare you? That shouldn't even be a question. All due respect to AI, but... Arizona native here. Phoenix Sun fan for life. I know, don't feel sorry, it's okay. But nonetheless, I'm back in the game. Are you good to go too, Sput?
I'm ready when you are.
Oh, now they're changing sides again. Oh, help me, help me, help me. Chat, give me something to talk about, because I'm about to cry. Never mind, we're back into it, and they decided to not switch back, in fact. This is all over the place today. You wouldn't think we've been doing this for 12 weeks. But over here, we're going to go to round 2 now, Sputnik.
And a round 2 that is awaited eagerly by everyone in chat, everyone watching right now, and the neutral joust is underway. It will be into the backfield of Flare. Things that seems that we have had a color change, so it will
Yes,
now
exactly.
be Infinite in orange. So to take it along the ceiling will be Game approaching mid, finding that pass along the floor to Chrome. Chrome has one player ahead on the ceiling, and he's looking back for that pass to Game. And Game's just going to take the shot at 7 meters, put 2 points on the board, and take the lead. 9 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock.
So second round here starting, and yeah, the first couple points for, again, Flare is now on blue team, so switching it up. Your eyes aren't deceiving you, don't worry, you haven't suddenly gone color blind or color cross blind, I'm not sure. If that's not a phrase yet, well, it is now, I guess. And we're going to have a rollout here for Infinite. I'm going to have to get used to saying the opposite colors now.
And Andy with that back pass, it will sail past his teammate. Excuse me, not a back pass. I'm losing track of these colors. So Grumpy has Broom with possession, under pressure, sending it through mid. It won't find its target. It will bounce back into the hands of Palace. Palace going for the shot. It will be off target, and it will bounce into the hands of Chrome.
Yeah, so right back to the left, or to the orange side here. It will be left on the floor as some punches go out, kind of crashing heads, it seems, as Game takes a shot. There's the 3. It's 5 points for Flair.
And you will have to adjust the game counter on the stream.
Done.
As Flair has. Okay, so with that being said, 8 minutes, 18 seconds on the clock. Joust advantage to Infinite, down by 5. To take it will be YouTube. YouTube immediately sending along the wall to Palace. Palace through mid to Zach. And Zach along the floor, but it won't meet its target. And chasing it and not being able to find it will go into the hands of Chrome. And Chrome will send it towards mid.
Wonder if that was all part of the plan there. They just wanted to... It wasn't Infinite who won. It was Blue Team who won. So therefore, Flair's on Blue Team. They win. Yeah, sound strat. That's super meta. But you know what? You got to push every edge that you can get here at Master Tier.
So Andy to receive it off the ceiling, sending it down immediately into the hands of that boosting stack from Flair. Flair sending it back to Grumpy, and Grumpy under pressure, finding that pass through mid, back to Voodoo. So this defense applying pressure through the whole court. They'll lose possession, sending it all the way down to YouTube at the back line.
And back to Chrome now, but actually batted out of there by Palace. So Palace are trying to link up, or at least get the clear, as the attempted stacks trying to recollect on the disc here in the corner are going to the tunnel now, taken back by, it looks like, Infinite ultimately up high and trying to back it out. And still 7 minutes left despite being down 5 points, but obviously just a little bit of a distraction, and the momentum may be lost from that first round based off of the timeout of sorts that we had to take there.
Absolutely. Looks like Infinite getting ice between the rounds and getting this shot off. It will be off the crossbar, but picked right back up and sent right in by Game at 5 meters.
That's 7 points quickly now. And here, just for posterity's sake, because the stream is asking a little bit about it, here we go. You can get an eye on the old ping situation. Looks pretty decent to me. So hopefully we remain here for the remainder of this match, as launching out is YouTube for Infinite, and the quick pass to the tunnel here, reaching Palace just briefly enough to tap it back, but intercepted now by Grumpy.
Grumpy had that back line to receive, sending that pass through mid to Chrome, and they send that forward pass, boosting to it, meeting it, and Game to take the shot, stopped by YouTube.
Yeah, that was a quick flick. Not sure if they were waiting for maybe a stun. There were some cutting players there in the area, but just not really timing that one as well as they wanted to. So it will be Infinite, maybe a chance to get on the score sheet if they can get this disc back. But again, the spacing getting very cluttered there for that moment.
Infinite just having a hard time with adjusting to this new server, and able to find the shot is Chrome, picking it up off the backboard, off the wall of the arena, and just able to put it right into the lower pocket.
Yeah, so 9 points. I mean, they're in position now to really start blowing this lead up if Infinite's not careful. 9 points is nothing that they can't come back from in 5 minutes, but it's all about the momentum, the rhythm, and I mean, one more goal, this is a double-digit game, and that's going to be solidly a snowball really unfolding unless Infinite scores. You know, the difference between a 6-point game and a 9-point game is actually pretty huge when you talk about the mental game.
Absolutely, and Infinite just having a hard time coming back, but finding that off the ceiling will be Game, putting another 3 points on the board to pull ahead by 12.
And oh snap, look who's in the chat. It's Billy Isms. Hopping in there, veteran player since the beta days of the PC version, that is. Of course, new beta going around now. But yeah, how's it going, Sputnik and Pally? I'm watching your awesome commentating with my son. Well, hello, Billy. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the compliments, and good to see the vet stepping in here as this game continues to blow up, you know, with that Quest version.
That's a name I haven't seen in a while, but that's a name I love to see. But Andy to get it off the wall, sending it back towards mid. It's a scramble for possession. Grumpy has to pick it up, sending it up to Game, and Game up to Voodoo. Voodoo across to Chrome, getting that cross, and Chrome getting that shot at 4 meters. It's 14-0. Massive change in momentum from the first to second round. Flair will look to take this second round. It's an absolute mountain for Infinite to climb. They will have joust advantage, and they have to respond with this possession.
Yeah, putting on the points by the dozen. The Baker's dozen. Actually, more than the Baker's dozen. They've got 14. So, and yet here we go talking about Baker's. It's Infinite. They got the donut still. Trying to get on the score sheet somehow, some way. And by the way, Billy, are you planning on playing next season? Huh? Hint, hint. As we go here on the play for Infinite, but just losing the handles again here.
But able to pick it up off that floor, but not able to get it away from the defender. It will be picked up by Game from the stun. Game getting that clear through the backline player of Infinite. And Flair there to get the reception.
And wow, with the goalie contested from out there, it enables the wide open goal. Grumpius helping out Game there just to open it up. And it's 17. And I'm not sure, has Infinite been facing a mercy, or have they faced a mercy situation at all this season? Because this is very unlike what I usually expect from this team.
This is completely unlike Infinite. Infinite has not faced a situation like this during the regular season or during the preseason that I can remember. But Zach up to Palace. Palace finding the shot below the goal at 4 meters. A rocket at 18 meters a second. 2 points on the board. 2 minutes on the clock, though. It's not enough. It just isn't enough to do anything against Flair in the second round.
Yeah, at this point, good job at least for Infinite over here to score and get those first 2 points after almost 8 minutes of play. The important thing now is not really focusing on the comeback in this round. The important thing is just focusing on the fundamentals and kind of relaxing a little bit, taking a breather, and finding a little bit of something to build upon going into the third, because that's really what's at stake at the moment.
Infinite definitely having to reorganize themselves, recoup, and find some type of success against this Flair defense.
And it's been intense, so that is to say, as the offense goes out for the three-point play. It's Grumpiest Broom, immediate stacks, and boosting into the disc, and they find themselves yet another breakaway goal.
Strambitsky talking about ping in chat, saying that he thinks Infinite will opt to go back to a different server. We don't know yet. Still a minute and 20 seconds on the clock. Joust advantage to Infinite. YouTube to send it along the wall to Andy W. Finding that target. Andy back to Palace. Trying to take time. Getting his team up into position. Sending it to mid to YouTube. YouTube taking his time. Finding these passes along the floor in Palace. Looking for something in the bubble.
Yeah, they've got a couple options there across, a bit of a triangle formation, and there's the 4th point here. Less than a minute left, but as I said, not playing for the comeback, they're just playing for the stability, for the mentality, and they can score here off of plays like that. That will at least give them something to look forward to into the third round, saying, okay, we got this. It's a restart. We'll be good to go.
38 seconds on the clock in this second round. Obviously, this second round has gone to Flair. But Infinite still playing hard, still trying to make something happen. Possession to this Flair team. They're running out the clock. They're finding their passes. They're getting towards the bubble. They're looking for something, sending it back up to ceiling to Game. And Game is approaching that bubble, trying to find that pass. It will bounce off Nest, and it will be lost, but back in the hands of this Infinite defense as they clear through mid.
Yeah, maybe another opportunity for a goal, but looks like it'll just be off. See if the stack can maybe rejoin for the rebound, and they will actually. Going to be handed off here to Andy with just a second to spare. Didn't really have a good angle on it. That's 20-4 as the second round now expires. And as chat was pointing out, I am a little curious here if we're actually going to stay on this server or not.
They are discussing it right now, and everyone is communicating. I can't hear anything individually from these players.
Same. All right, well, input those scores at least. Again, I'm not sure what we're going with. It's been a little bit of a scrambled start, to say the least, here to this first match of the night. So we're going to just try and work with what we've got and, yeah, see what the next round has in store for us, if they want to take a timeout or contact a mod. I mean, it's within their rights for sure. Not going to blame Infinite or otherwise for doing so. But
now we're getting into a meta discussion in chat. Strambitsky saying, I truly don't understand the pros for switching servers other than trying to... Okay, I'm not saying that. But nonetheless, it seems to be that SirDimwi thinks that these players are doing this for a strategic advantage. And it's unnecessary.
Could be the case. It's almost a throwback to the olden days of Echo, where you would kind of see these between matches. But nonetheless, just trying to figure out all what we're doing. Looks like we're just going to go straight to the second round, so don't mind me. Sputnik, take over for just a sec.
Neutral joust underway. It will go into the bubble of Infinite bouncing out. It will be a scramble for possession, eluding a bunch of hands from this Flare offense, but coming out of goal to meet that pass is YouTube. YouTube not able to find the clear. Will go back in the hands of Flare, and Flare will take another shot, but it'll be stopped by Palace in the right place at the right time.
Man,
so defeated along...
Oh, sorry, I'm back. On that note, back to the goal is going to be game. Just making sure we're all set, and I think we are. We're good to go. It's 9:26 left as Zach receives it here on the ramp.
As Mr. Nate Bros says, why is it only round 2? We've had some issues, but we're focusing on the game right now. We'll get it fixed before the end of it. So it'll be Palace with possession back to YouTube, the backline player, the goalie of Infinite, and getting that pass up. And under pressure will be slapped back towards YouTube. YouTube's got time to make something happen. Infinite is trying to get organized, but they're not able to find that pass. And it will go into the hands of Flare's defense, and it will be cleared through that tunnel.
And right into the goal area as trying to get right back and tapping it is the YouTube, or trying to get it as YouTube off of Zach's pass, and they kind of form up on the disc. Looked to clear it, but couldn't really get it through there, and just going to stick on this side now, and maybe back to the hands of Flare, depending here. But again, the scramble is real at the moment.
Absolutely, and this is a third round. This will decide the matchup, sending it back to their backline player, Grumpiest Broom, for the reset. Grumpy under pressure, trying to make a pass happen. You see these pump fakes come out. He has nothing. Finds the pass along the wall to Chrome. Chrome looking for that cross, finding it to Game. And Game at 2 meters to pull ahead by 2 in this third round. Almost 2 minutes off the clock.
Wow. Yeah, he didn't have a lot of room to work with at all on that pass, so somehow got the pass through, somehow got the shot through. By the way, chat, you want to see a magic trick? Watch this. Here you go, third round. See? Easy. As we get this shot attempt maybe from Zach. He's going to whirl and twirl, but just gets punched out. And the stun coming through as well as a steal from Game. Nicely done, but back on the other end, it's YouTube getting it stolen as well. Just briefly enough maybe for Chrome to recover.
And to pick it up, it will be Voodoo, but Voodoo immediately stunned out. Infinite defense getting it, taking their time in the bubble, trying to make anything happen. Up to Andy, and Andy will clear it through mid along the lower portion. It will go into the hand of Grumpiest. Grumpiest at the back line to receive it.
And a few pass fakes there just before getting it through to Game. Game finding that corner cross all the way to the pack Geo. And as the defense does all manage to get back into the goal for Infinite, it will be Flare playing it slow with the 2-point advantage and trying to find their best possible angles.
And finding that pass along the ceiling to Voodoo. Voodoo looking for that cross to Game. Game will not find it. It will be to Chrome. Game sailed past, and it was too late for the pass. Chrome came in along the bottom, finding that pass from Voodoo to slam dunk it in that lower pocket.
And yeah, with, again, 6 minutes left, lower scoring so far these first few minutes of round 3. It's just going to be basically all on the ability here of Infinite. They want to come back after kind of losing all that momentum, just to gather themselves and find some of those easier passes and fundamental plays. At the moment, some unforced turnovers. But that said, a turnover caused here, maybe about to get it back. We can just see all these passes slightly off the mark, it seems, right now.
And Infinite looking for that clear through the tube. They will be able to pick it back up, and they'll try this long shot attempt, and it will be good from Zach. Grumpiest Broom congratulating Infinite on that shot. That's what they needed. It's a 1-point game in favor of Flare. Joust advantage back to Flare. Now we have a game on our hands. Looking for this third round victory will be Infinite.
Sputnik. I could do nothing but shake my head on that play. That was just an incredible attack there from Zach. He did the fake, did it dirty, as the chat said, and faked enough out of his shoes, just enough to get the backboard goal. Looked like it was going to go for that direct shot, and that's why it was cut off, but then just went for the backboard. That was a super nice play from Zach, and that might be more than enough to get them back into this mentally. As they go, indeed, there's Zach with the play and the goal. Here we go. It is Zach time. Not Tony time, Zach time.
Zach taking it into his own hands, putting 5 points on the board with barely any time off the clock. 5 minutes in this game left. 1 point advantage to Infinite. Joust advantage to Flare. This is looking to be a great game in the 3rd round.
Oh, I like that, Lanzan. He is Zactivated right now for Infinite. Looking good on this start. Let's see now if Flare can respond. We know they have the momentum from last round, and they're going to go right back up by 1 point. Assisted there by Chrome Platypus. It's game with a shot.
Flare just able to break through that Infinite defense, get into the bubble, find that cross pass. Elementary moves from Flare, but they make it look so good.
Yes, Wit, Zactivated. That is my new favorite phrase of the hour, at least. But over here, Palace rolling out, gets it to Andy, looking if they can convert and go back up by 1 themselves with a little bit of time, not a ton of it, trying to get it over to Zach, and right back, but just losing the handle, still getting it back again with a little time. But I do like the fact that we're at least starting to see these passes. Even though the catch wasn't quite there, they're at least much more catchable than they were earlier.
And just beating that Infinite stack, 3 players from Flare down in that bubble. Infinite not able to get anywhere to respond. It will now be a 3-point game in favor of Flare, and Joust advantage back to Infinite.
I'm not sure if chat's just being silly with the copy pasta or being toxic. You watch it. It's a fine line you're treading. Don't make me upset.
Don't make Palidore.
Don't make me beat Dadador. I don't want to have to moderate. Then again, Wit's there. He can handle it. As Andy does handle the disc, goes for the fake, and make it no mistake. It's back up or back to within 1 point here for Infinite. It's 8-7 Sputnik and 3.5 remaining. A little under.
1 point game, and I was saying earlier, don't make Palidore flex his muscle.
I don't
He
have
will take
muscles. Have you
action.
seen me?
Well, Joust advantage back to Flare. Flare up by 1. This quick rollout. They always run this rollout. They're getting the pass to ceiling. They don't have the advantage by numbers outside the bubble. They will take their time. They will send it back to Grumpy at the back line.
And now spacing out on every single corner, up by 1, less than 3 minutes now to spare, as they'll go for the shot, and now back up by 3 at that. So just go for a goal, and that's not something that Infinite can afford to do for all too much longer, else they concede this round and the series.
YouTube had the read. He just wasn't able to react quickly enough. His hand sailing right by that disc as it went right in. So to take it will be YouTube from Nest. YouTube under pressure.
Be careful there.
Able to get that pass off, and this shot comes into the bubble. Picking it up will be Game. Game making the push towards goal and finding it at 4 meters.
All right, so 12-7, and that's going to buy them even more of a buffer. Also, thanks to Lanzan there for a couple hundred bits over the course of the last 12-13 minutes. As well as Keppa TV over there contributed 100 bits on the cheer. I don't think I ever mentioned that, but shout out to you. Sorry I'm late. As we go here for the opening play of this joust. Less than 2 left, Sputnik. It's looking slim.
Down by 5, they can still come back, but they have to execute everything perfectly, and they don't get that. Grumpy will make the save and get the clear through tunnel.
Talk about execute. That was excellence of execution right there on the save from Grumpy. And just doing something that he is more than capable of doing, no matter what he says.
Andy with possession, sending it down, trying to find a pass or a shot, but it will go into the hands of Game and the Voodoo up to Game and Tunnel. Game not under pressure, taking it up alongside the wall. Finally being faced with defense and finding the shot, making it look easy. 18 meters is second, up by 8.
And
a minute on the clock.
And Sputnik, that is not going to be good for Infinite. It sounds like, just no time really to make too much of a comeback. And that goal there was all predicated off Grumpy's defense. And kind of mentioning, good at goal no matter what he says. I mentioned that just because last time I saw Grumpy was in a private match a couple days ago, and he was saying, I'm not good at goal, but I know better than that. He's You know, he's definitely a talented striker, but and defender and brawler, things like that. He's definitely a capable goalkeeper. We saw it there, and that was really, I think, the ice of this round, that particular save, because that was really the last gasp, basically, for Infinite to maybe mount a comeback, and it just couldn't get done.
Absolutely. Getting that slap out towards mid, but picked up by Andy W. 14 seconds on the clock. They want to get a shot, and another save by Grumpy, and a clear outside of that bubble from Flair. Flair has this 6 minutes. They're looking to get any more points. They're not going to take any more points. They're not going to take any more time. They're going to take this series.
And I'm going to take precaution and mute the comms before we get going for the rest of this end round screen. Now, it will be 15-7, indeed, after that series, a bit disjointed at times on multiple ends, but we eventually got through it. So, again, appreciate your patience. And, you know, if you wade through the issues here and there, that was just a great series full of a lot of good plays, but definitely momentum strongly favoring Flair there in rounds 2 and 3. It looked like Infinite was about ready to make a comeback. Zach was definitely leading the way in that regard. But then just by the end of it, a couple more scores came in there. Grumpy with a couple of saves to ice it yet again, and hence the results.
You're talking about a tsunami of a momentum change. Infinite starting off very strong in the first round, taking the first round, much like Flair took the second round. But Infinite just not able to respond in these changes to the second and third round, not able to adapt their defense and offense to Flair's play, and falling in the second and third round to Flair.
Yeah, so with that said, see what the timing is now. We got about 8 minutes till the next match, it would seem. So we'll head out of here, at least for the meantime. But yeah, by the by, if you do look at the highlights on that screen, keep in mind that Infinite and Flair, those round 1 highlights, they were on a different server and they had switched sides. So if there's a little bit of disconnect there and you're wondering why, that's why. But as long as I didn't mess up too much, I think I got at least the right scores. I got to maybe switch up one of these positions, however. Let's see here. Nope, we're good, I think. Yeah, all right. Perfect. Perfect as that could have ended up, I do think. So with that said, obviously a hugely strong game from the man himself, Game, with the 22 points, and that was just in the 2 rounds, just lighting it up. And you know, we saw in some of these weeks here when Flair is competing against master tier teams, the Illuminati game especially was notable. But more and more, as Flair's made their name, teams are definitely learning how to compensate for the Flair's strategy, which is to say they've been doing good in a lot of these matches to deny him points and cover him heavily. But this time, kind of getting away from that defense, and he was just, you know, do I guess a breakout game once again, finally with those 22. You don't see that too often these days.
And looking at the chat, Kappa, VTS X King is memeing, and I don't think you picked up on that joke, but now you have.
I missed completely what you said there, but yes, jokes abound. I'm sorry, I spaced out. Shout out Space Force. I landed in the chat earlier there, but Kappa's talking about the 3 rounds. That's actually 2 rounds worth of stats because we had a server switch, so that's actually just rounds 2 and 3 you're looking at right there. Kappa. And Kung. Imagine not being a founder. I'm not even a founder. How bad is that? Jeez. But anyway. All right. Well, gonna pull up the schedule here for a second. On VRML Channel 2, I'm thinking and hoping we have Creamy Milk and Legends being streamed. And it looks like that is the case. Yes. So that one is currently in its 2nd round, about to begin, it looks like. Meanwhile, on this channel, in about 5 minutes from now, we're going to have ourselves, let's see here, Reboot versus Galaxy, it would look like. And then following the Creamy Milk and Legends game on Channel 2, it'll be Invictus versus Mirage. So a lot of stuff going on. And we're going to get them done, I think, despite all this scrambledness. We got it, Sputnik. We got it. Maybe.
We definitely got it, and I'm looking forward to the
All right,
rest
good.
of the matchups tonight.
And so with that said, I'll leave the highlights up for just a moment. We're going to figure out exactly what's what on our end, but in another 5 minutes or so, we're going to have the next match ready for you. So be right back, and thank you again for the patience and for the subs, the bits, the excitement. You guys are lovely. BRB. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to the stream. And thanks for bearing with us. Yeah, as you can see, we got Reboot versus Galaxy coming up here right now. Pull up the schedule for Land's End. Well, the reason why we didn't have the screen up at the time, just because we didn't know ourselves, because of that delay in our first match. We were just trying to work through who exactly was doing what, as we do have simulcasts going on between the two regions. Or regions, I should say, two streams, VRML 1 and 2. At the moment, just finishing up Creamy Milk versus Legends, I think, on Channel 2. Meanwhile, on Channel 1 here, it's Reboot versus Galaxy. Alright, so that said, the teams are actually ready up here. It will be just me on this cast for the moment. Over on Channel 2, So Much for Subtlety, along with SirDimwi, casting that Legends Creamy Milk game, and afterwards Sputnik will be joining them as well for an Invictus match versus Mirage. But for those joining us here on this particular channel, you got some choices. Thank you for doing so. And off we do go. It's going to be Galaxy over on blue. Galaxy for the 2. Faircar 16. Sorry, Furcar.
But I'm glad that they said
16. Gets that 2-pointer. And for Galaxy here, this has been a series that we've seen a handful of times between these two teams. And for Galaxy, you know, they've come close a lot, but more and more over the course of the season, this late season, they've been getting up some wins. It took them up until somewhere around week 7, perhaps, as Furcar goes for another shot. That's a 3 as well, right at the 8-meter line. But Galaxy, they started out winless for the first couple months, and now they got 4 wins in just the last 2 or 3 weeks worth of their matches. They might be looking for another one right here. They have just been continuing to get better and better over the course of the season, and gotta hand it to them for really sticking through it and just getting that chemistry together. Not giving up, and it's been very fun to watch. Likewise here for Reboot, joining up in the preseason, new to comp, seeing a couple roster changes here and there, and most recently Delusion, the veteran player from the beta days. We talked about Billyisms over there in the Twitch chat just a while ago for that Flare and Infinite match. We had Billy popping up in the chat, which is cool. Don't know if he's still there, but I was in fact thinking about you the other day. We're talking about veteran players we haven't seen in a little bit, and you're always one of the names that comes up in those conversations recently. But Delusion, he's another one of those players, but he did also come back as of the last month or so, and joining up with Reboot here, who's been sticking through it just the same and getting constantly better, looking for those passing plays. And I think Delusion and his veteranship will be, oh boy, it's gonna be a self goal. And is that a caster's curse or what? A little bit of miscommunication, going for the stack instead of the back pass that was intended. Unfortunate turn of events, but still a lot of time left in the clock to spare. So Reboots on this launch. Neon getting the disc here. Shaken Bacon Sandwich now trying to evade, and does get a deep pass or deep clear out, at least to the opposite corner, but no one there immediately on the arrival. Delusion trying to change that, but being stunned out. Goes for that clear, and now a good shield coming in from Furcar. And Furcar's had a really good start to this match already, trying to find maybe some more points even after this contesting. And now we'll be taken down below by Delusion by that logo, Ready at Dawn. I don't know, Ready at Dawn definitely been busy as of late, as has Echo Arena in general, because of the Quest port, the Quest version in closed beta. Right there, closing out the shot, and you beta believe it. It was a nice save, coming through and sent on into the other side. That's going to be collected here by the stack. It's Unguarded 4. And Unguarded 4 gets, well, an Unguarded 3 inside the goal. That's 11 points for Galaxy. At the moment, Reboot here trying to regather themselves and come out with a successful launch on this rollout. Let's see what they opt with. It will be taken here by Neon. They're going for that split left, right, and center, everyone being sent on through. That clear going out, but no one really there to receive it. despite the players being on the other side. So they're going to attempt here to grab it back off the wall. Delusion getting some nice leeches there after the stun on Furcar. So there goes Delusion here, trying to be the stabilizer for his team. Get them back into it. Laws are the best in the chat asking what's ready at dawn. Oh, just some guys who made our favorite thing. Some guys and gals, as right here will be Delusion getting the disc yet again. Keep saying his name because he's just all over it at the moment. Really being aggressive and assertive here to make sure he's on top of that disc as much as possible. Now, unguarded, or rather Shaken Bacon Sandwich gets the disc over here in the left tunnel. We'll send it right back to the stack there. It's 17th. It's a Neon. They get the clear, but just into the hands there once again of Galaxy. And then right back to Reboot. Some ping pong action, but gonna get stuck in the mid for only a second as Furcar is there on the disc as well. Furcar essentially acting as the Delusion of Galaxy right now, because quite frequently on those loose discs, it's gonna be Furcar on that one. So back and forth at the moment, taken here back by Delusion again, gets it to Shaken Bacon and over to Neon on some good efficient passes. Can they make it again? A very tight one there with some strength, but Delusion, make no mistake, he is gonna get the goal. Much to the dismay of Phlegm Enthusiast, who is very, very skilled inside that goal, protecting it with his life. And doing so pretty successfully over the weeks, more often than not, it seems. See Gilligan in the chat shouting out the Reboot folk here. Gotta love the support and the camaraderie always. Finding themselves down by 9. And maybe some more, however, as Furcar, there he is yet again. We'll have the one-on-one, a very bold shot, but maybe a rebound to himself. And he puts it up there on the top shelf for the shot. It's 13-2 now. Furcar thus far, 7 points out of the 13, as well as 5 assists, and many bothersome plays in the midline on defense, contesting Reboot quite nicely, no doubt. So Reboot going out here, and their launches kind of having trouble really getting it to the hands of anyone, sending some players through on these clears, but not really into a zone where there's anyone to receive it. So maybe for Reboot there, just needing to calm it down a little bit, maybe even go for some short range rollouts where they stop over in the the bow tie, or stop over on the ramps, or these pack areas on their side of the floor. Because right now it's a lot of throwing it to the other side, but there's just not really anyone home. At the moment, though, Reboot is sticking home here inside the goal in the bubble area, now trying to creep on out and contest on the bottom. Phlegm Enthusiast comes away with it. He's going to play that midline pretty well, as Furcar just taps right off the nest. Couldn't get the goal, however, so instead, Phlegm once again on the rebound and backboarding it, but that will also be off. Nonetheless, the persistence paying some dividends as Chucky Joseph goes for a pass right below, and that one I do like there, so getting the goal. Shaken Bacon almost having a save on it. Oh, you see a couple of shots there from Galaxy coming from a little bit too far out. You saw one of them, or maybe both of them, just from outside the bubble down here. But once those ones didn't connect and they got the rebound, it was a good job by Galaxy to kind of adjust and say, okay, maybe no more deep shots. We're gonna go with what we know can work, and that's a little bit of fundamental passing. Speaking of, getting right past the defense. Delusion with a pass to Shaken Bacon. That was a very lovely pass to reach the intended target on the other end. It was not an easy play to make, that is to say, but he got it through. That's 4 points here for Reboots. 15, meanwhile, for Galaxy. Looking to finish out their season very strong. I mean, no matter what happens tonight and, for these last games for Galaxy, gotta appreciate the fact they did finish strong and finish out with some wins. A lot of opportunities where maybe other teams would have just called it a day, hung up their hats. But for Galaxy, no, it's only been uphill. An uphill battle, but now an uphill in the good sense, the positive sense. They're putting on those wins and making their name known here as a talented team to look forward to in the future. As Phlegm Enthusiast gets the interception. He does a very good job in that backline, doesn't he? He's playing all the passing lanes, and he just seems to be in the right place anytime it goes deep into the back area. Now a bounce shot will go very close. Chucky Joseph getting maybe too lax, trying to slap it in there. A little bit of a lower percentage shot, so that one will not get them the goal. Of course, they do have a pretty decent advantage here, the points-wise, and only a minute left to go, so time and the score will still be on Galaxy's side regardless. That's always one of the things you see from teams at times. It definitely happens to the teams at every single level, where it's hard to maintain sometimes the same style of play consistently, in the sense that if you do get ahead, you know, some teams get a little bit lax. It does happen, literally to all of us. Just about anyway. There's very few teams who, you know, in an intense game with high actions per minute like Echo Arena, the concentration it's just hard to maintain sometimes over a long period of time. Going for a shot there from too far out, and now being taken out by Neon. Neon's a very strong player here for Reboot, always piling in the stats, whether it's points, assists, steals, saves, you name it. He can pretty much do a little bit of everything and do it pretty well. Shaken Bacon trying to get a pass right over to the aforementioned Neon, and Shaken being one of the newer members of the roster, about halfway through the season or so, he joined on to Reboot. So again, you know, for Reboot, seeing roster changes, and that's always going to play a factor too for teams in terms of chemistry, as Chucky Joseph closes off the first round with one more three. That's 18-4 here.
Good round, guys.
All right, so over to the highlights. Give you a look at that. Pardon me for just a moment as I attempt to rehydrate, but I will try and get to any comments you guys got, if you do have them. Lowell's asking or saying Reboot can take this if they make some threes. I think, never mind. In that round, maybe not so much towards the end there, but you know, the beauty of these intermissions, of course. Just time to take a breather, gather those thoughts, and then get your shots the next time around. It's a new game, fresh slate. See Gilligan in the chat as well. Yep, it's definitely Friday night here in Echo Arena. Enjoy that, Gilligan. And to all the folk here streaming today and playing today. Got a lot of them, but we'll be continuing to the second round and seeing if Galaxy is looking to maybe get a sweep here, potentially. Reboot still has time to come back, of course, and, you know, Reboot, the leaders in terms of the season series, I do believe. I mean, again, these two teams have faced off a few times. In fact, the first match of the season for Galaxy Reboot, it was against each other, and that series was won by Reboot 22-19. That was a 3-rounder. Over here on the second round, to get back to the gameplay, it'll be Delusion passing over to 17th charge. Some very nice cross passing off the wall, a little too strong on that last delivery, but maybe catching it off the bounces. Pile up forming here for Galaxy, just trying to separate out now and get the disc right back, but in the back line, it will be taken here by Furcar. Yet again, first to the disc. So first car, I guess, as Unguarded 4 gets the 2-pointer just before the defense can get right back into the goal. But yes, going back to it, it was that first series between these teams back on February 6th, week 1, and 3-round series. The total differential in scoring, only 3 points separating across the 3 rounds. So it was extremely close, without a doubt. Then Reboot had faced off Galaxy again as we get onto this play, so maybe I'll get back to that in a moment, just in case, because Delusion is looking to find a place into the goal. It can't get the shot. Still taken back by Neon. Another ding for Reboot. So persistent with it, but unable to hit the center, trying to paint the corners perhaps against what is a very talented goalie in Flem. I mean, you really can't shoot it at a center of mass lest you risk getting it saved. So they really have to be precise with a shot, and there you go. They get it through for that 2. It's Delusion, and much in thanks to the fact that Flem was stunned out, so he couldn't really do anything in terms of grabbing the disc. Might have had a chance at a headbutt, but it's always going to be tough accomplishing that. Now let's see. Back to the season series I talked about, though. So Reboot had also Also faced off Galaxy again on April 18th, it looks like there, and as well as March 20th, actually. And all these series going to reboot, so it's actually 3 out of these matches so far. 3 out of 3 have gone to reboot. Galaxy, this is the 4th match, and they are looking maybe in position to take it finally here, but they've all been close, every single one of them, which is why I was excited here to cast this one and just see how they finally close it out. Seems like these two teams really just the Batman and Joker of their division here, looking for a shot attempt, and we've seen them go to that well a few times, and I think maybe a few too many times for Galaxy, because a lot of these wins definitely for Galaxy has been on when they get those nice passing plays, but getting a little bit antsy and aggressive on these threes. And you know, those are one of those double-edged swords. They can work sometimes, but if you're too liberal with them, you know, teams are going to punish you for it. And just as well, you know, if you can just get the passing plays that I've seen from Galaxy there, get those easy 2-pointers, that'll be much more to their benefit. And that's exactly what Reboot as well does want to try to do here, is they just gather the disc off that bounce into the bubble. And Shake and Bacon Sandwich, finding the wedge pass over to 17th Charge. He'll try to clear it through and does so successfully. So now if they can look for their stacks, they might have an opportunity at the disc, but maybe looking for it a little bit too late. So Unguarded 4 will come away with it, just getting a tiny bit of separation. And now these stacks once again going to be a factor in terms of getting back into the goal before this potential 3 comes out. So it will be Shake and Bacon getting back, as well as Neon. And now safely maybe on the back pass, they have some options with 17th. They have a Shaken as well over in the tunnel. Now that pounce pass, was that intentional? If so, that was a gorgeous one, as it does eventually get to Delusion's hand here on this end of the floor. Looking for some pass opportunities, but the defense very aggressive from Galaxy, but a nice soft touch on the pass will get that. And now there's a great shot off the alley-oop dunk going in. Neon to Shaken Bacon, shaken loose. And that one was juicy. A juicy sandwich indeed. But that is exactly what, for Galaxy, they want to do if they want to close this out in 2. That was a great play from Reboot. Because you see, you know, whereas Galaxy is starting to force up some of these deep threes from outside and these bounce shots, as that one will go in fact, but only because it was wide open, no one in the goal, and that is an unfortunate turnaround for them. And whoop, we do have a restart, it sounds like. So I think I just barely cut the stats on stream for you there. Not sure what the issue is, but yeah, we will have a restart for the moment. But yes, so for Galaxy, if they can get more of those passes.
You guys lose someone?
No, his batteries died in his controllers.
Oh, well, that's never a good
You guys
thing.
know what time the score was?
No.
Somebody?
Yeah, I
5
remember.
to 4 with
Pally
like
or
8 minutes.
Flims?
All right, let's see. I will try and look up the score.
Yeah, 5 us.
You guys had 5 or we had 5?
We score one, and then they go back to a timeout. That's
All right, so it was 5:25.
Okay, they said we had 4 and you guys had 2 and you scored at the very last second? Does that sound
Yeah.
right? So 4-4? And then like 2 or 3 minutes left? Or how
It was
long?
4-5 off of that score. 5 favoring Galaxy there on that score.
5-4. We have 5-4 or you guys have 5-4?
We have 5 points.
Okay. So
All right, there we go.
you
So
guys
just trying to
5 us.
coordinate with the players here,
Okay,
but yeah, little battery thing,
5
definitely
points
handy to
left.
keep an extra pair charged up. That's one of those things when you run out of battery in the middle of a tournament. Usually it's a mistake that happens just once. Happens to all of us at some point. It's happened to me. But then usually you remember, okay, well, next time I'm going to have some extra charged ones available on standby, or at least maybe a old TV remote you're not using that you can pick from. Either way. So not a problem. Will be the second round still, about halfway through. 5:25 on the clock upon that score. 1 point advantage for Galaxy. And as I was kind of getting at earlier on, just regarding the passing plays, because the thing is, you can see Galaxy is certainly capable of making shots. We saw one right there just a moment ago. But in theory, anyways, on paper, if you're accurate enough on the shots, you can make those goals. You can be accurate enough on the passes too. So that's why, you know, taking your time there and trying to make the best possible plays in the best possible points. You know, take advantage of open goals like this one if you have them. He's going to swing around and now get the shot there just with a little bit of a flourish, knowing that he had time. Furcar. A little bit of a hot dogging, I suppose, but got the nice rollout on defense, just stealing it right out of the hands. And there you go. Little spin, and gets it in. So Neon here, ducking down below, going for that bounce, but couldn't really meet the hands of the intended target. Same over here, though, as Neon gets it right back, but right into the hands again for an intercept on Flem. Just back and forth, playing some catch between these two teams, but up here on the top of the nest, diving beneath, looking for the backboard play. Shaken Bacon gets it there for the 3. Defense all over him. Little bit of a dangerous one, but they still got it through. And we'll take the joust advantage here for Galaxy. Up by 1 still, but not in a position where they can really mess around too much. So let's see what they decide to roll out with on either side. Looks like 2 down mid. Just 1 kind of stuck in the tunnel there. But cutting off his own line of sight there with the double diamonds. Not to mention the defense all up in the way. And this will get the disc right back to Reboot. So Reboot trying to force this game 3, this round 3. And stay alive in this series as we do wind down this final week of Season 1. And the regular season, at least. Of course, we got a lot more exciting games to come in the coming weeks. But it's going to be qualifiers and finals from here on out after this weekend. So really winding it down, and it's just great to see all these teams still up and in it. I'm excited to get it going in this last weekend. Very busy schedule. 30-some games between Friday and Sunday. Thursday and Sunday. Right there, it's Furcar. And he's getting up by 3 points now for Galaxy. And again, these teams, Reboot and Galaxy, have met each other constantly throughout the regular season. But Reboot's always come up ahead, just barely. I mean, every single series just decided really by a matter of single-digit points in that total differential. So it's pretty uncanny. And thus far, it's pretty much been much of the same. Granted, it was a very strong first round from Galaxy there, but the second round is much more what we're used to seeing in this season series, as Neon gets a pass over to Shaken Bacon. Shaken trying to get that midline clear. Delusion also trying to get clear of all that defense bothering. But a bunch of bounces will go back to the hands of Furcar. He's going to go for that bounce deep into the other zone. And unable to find that one, so Neon does retrieve the disc. So down by a few, but still plenty of clock to burn here in terms of scoring a couple goals or even just 1-3 to tie it up. Either way, they don't need to rush anything. They just need some quality. As, sailing in a 17th charge, but it's going to be a tough grab. Oh, for all involved is just missing. And off the barrier going to the rebounded hands here. Delusion, Shaken Bacon getting some short-range stacks off each other and going for the 3. Whoa, a big shot to tie it up. Unguarded 4 being credited, so it must have been off of his head because it's still counted for a 3. What a huge play coming in there. Shaken Bacon looks like the one who shot that one. And Gilligan's certainly enjoying it. That was just a massive shot. A very, very bold, and boy did it pay off here in the second round with just 90 seconds remaining now. And this could go either way. Of course, anytime we get those round 3s, it's always fun to watch, but will it happen again is the question. Not an uncommon theme between these couple of teams. There's a Furcar trying for the deep sling, but in the other end, it's going to be 17th charge. Just recovering that, no problem. And at this point, with about a minute left approaching, any goal here could very well be a game winner. We'll see. Delusion, he's trying to claim that win for his team. Getting it right through, walking it into the goal, and the goalie does indeed dive out in an attempt to put a stop to it, but closing that gap and going up by 2 is Reboot. That's a big, big shot here for Delusion. Now Galaxy, they have 41 seconds left off this joust to respawn, tie, and take the lead. Either or. They need a score within the next 35 now as they roll out and just try and take care of the disc. You can see Delusion really trying to bother them. And even more bothersome is going to be Reboot, cutting off the pass in the midfield very beautifully. Still time to maybe get this button back, but it's just not a lot of it. They're going to need to go for that deep clear now, and someone needs to get really quick to the front line because for Reboot, they're going to be guarding this goal as best they can. So there's a duck through, and the one-on-one at the goal for the tie. It's Chucky Joseph, and OT baby it will be. Here we go. Big shot, Chuck. See if he can come through with some good luck and maybe end it here. But for Reboot, a heck of a second round, and they're going to hope to force this third. See if they can get that speed going. I know for Delusion, one of the things, his veteranship and his experience, he's going to want to bestow upon this team continually is just looking for those stacks, getting those grabs, being faster, and more accurate in general with those. And off that very, very quick launch, just kind of playing it back to see who gets it. Will be stun here. Big stun coming out. Neon over to Furcar. Furcar diving in, and it gets the win for Galaxy. So Furcar ends it here, and after a flurry, Galaxy coming through strong as they have been these last few weeks. And they get their win, finally on Reboot after 4 tries. And this has been, if nothing else, an absolute testament to the ferocity of Galaxy. And how they've just been able to build that strength going into late season. And just impressing. So super well done to Galaxy. Almost saw that round 3, and we always want to see it when we can, but, just denied there. But, so it shall be. For Reboot, still played a very, very good, very strong second round for sure. Nothing to be ashamed over for that one. I mean, just a good series as we're always promised between Galaxy and Reboot, and I'm super amped to see what they do provide in the future now, going into the next season and beyond. Got a lot of promising stuff up ahead for sure. So real quick, we're gonna go to the stats screen here. Get a good look at it and just see what's going on. Can't hang around too long, however, as I do need to coordinate with my fellow casters, and we may be switching it up here soon and get the next streams going dependent. So we shall see. So give me just a moment, but enjoy your replays. All right, hello. So quick update for you folks. Still need to get a few things set in place. But what it looks like we're going to do here, we have one match scheduled to start at, well, right about now, 3 minutes ago, frankly. But just to give you guys an update, because trying to figure that out myself. So on VRML Channel 2, we have Invictus and Mirage just ending the first round thereabouts, it looks like. Right towards the end, Mirage is about to take the first. So that game is ongoing. Since we only have the one match, I will be moving on to Skull Crusaders versus Space Force in the next couple minutes here. And I think we should be, good to go after that. No more overlaps for the rest of the night, so that's what we're planning on doing. But yeah, so be back in a second. Looks like we got, what, 30 viewers in here and 30 viewers over on Channel 2 as well, it would seem. So a lot of activity. But yes, that is the plan, so hold tight for just a second, and we'll be back with intermission and a switch up to Space Force and Skull Crusaders. All right. Hello, hello. Welcome back. I'm Palidore. This is VR Master League, Week 12, week end. And we are about to go back to our, forward actually to our next stream. Still got a couple more underway at least, but this one between Skull Crusaders and Space Force about to start off here. Not too bad on the delays. Thank you as well to everyone. And as always for the patience as we get going. Skull Crusaders Office Joust over on orange side. It's a Soisy, Filibust, Ant Gas, and Acorn 302. Over on Space Force, blue team, it's Arrow Knight, Ender Slot, Anime for Life, Pyro Polar Bear. The aforementioned getting stunned there. And losing the disc over here, it's Soisy. Soisy going for the bottom shot, perhaps. Going to get the stack immediately, though. And getting it first, it's Filibust being stunned out there. Busted by Pyro Polar Bear, kind of giving a little bit of the medicine right back to Skull Crusaders. And there is the boost coming in with some speed and trying to maybe find that shot Ender Slot. Looked like maybe they were considering a 3, but then the defense actually got back there off the boost, so they had to kind of go quickly for the 2. So first pair of points for Space Force. And 1 minute into this match. So a stun coming off here, but still getting the disc right through. Over to the midfield, it'll be taken right back. Eventually by Anime for Life. He's going to try and get the disc back, but good tap from Soisy, just joining in the midline, saving his teammates out of trouble there, and slinging it over to the corner. Now diving out of the goal, which is a bit dangerous in this situation. Not paying for it immediately, and on that recovery, it's Enders. So Soisy not able to convert. Had a decent look as the defense was caught out a little bit with their pants down, but still getting the clear, and recovering is Arrow Knight. Arrow Knight, speaking of the clear 3, that one will be right in the center for Arrow. So starting off strong for Space Force. A couple of goals, about a minute and 50 seconds in. All right, so Ant Gas, he's going to QB here for Skull Crusaders. And going to the left side tunnel. Filibust now rolling up. A couple of goals, but still some time, obviously, to get right back. Skull Crusaders trying to put on some more wins here at the end of the season. And they're going to get that one. Filibust assisted by Acorn. Just nice job by Filibust to paint the top corner of the goal, just keeping it out of the wingspan of the goalie. And just forcing, again, that reaction time. And doing a good job to just get it through. Echo getting, or Rocktor getting busted by Nightbot there as trying for the goal. Pyro Polar Bear, but tight corner from down below, and Ant Gas played that one very well. Put his hand in the perfect place to save it out. Meanwhile, over on the side wall, taken here, and sling back out to the midfield. It will seem the defense very aggressive from Skull Crusaders. You can see they're covering a lot of these blue players, but Space Force need to get back now, and instead recovering, it's Acorn getting the 2-point shot 6 meters right above the goal. 1 point game as a result, and there you go, right back into it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, so oh yeah, Rocktor asking why Oculus Hater there in the chat isn't in the match right now. Apparently a broken USB on his laptop. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Sorry to hear that right there, though. Pyro Polar Bear not going to be sorry at all. He's going to take every shot that he can, and he's going to have success with the 7th points for Space Force. So, yeah, definitely a unique sight. I'm not even sure. I think all this scrambleness and all these minor delays we're dealing with got me all in a scramble, because otherwise I would normally recognize the fact that, hey, Oculus Hater isn't on Skull Crusaders today. You would think I would know that, given how much I usually call out his name on stream. But, well, welcome to the chat. Now you're on kind of our side of the floor for a change. Watching from the third-person view up here. Ant Gas going to make a pass towards mid. Just ducking through. A nice move, but Arrow Knight, a good save on that one. just lining it right up and lining up the clear as well. That even has a chance to go in. Will just miss, but on the rebound, maybe still collecting it. Arrow Knight's there. He already had one from that similar corner, but now we'll just wait for his teammates to join him and actually go there off the dive. But Philibus diving as well. You can see all the defenders diving out on the QB, but then one defender, Philibus, diving out on that receiver. Over here, receiving it is Anime for Life, going down beneath to the goal, looking for a reverse, and it's Arrow Knight and throwing his hands up in the air as Ant Gas. Just unable to complete the save. He did get his mitts around it, but couldn't quite complete it. And Arrow Knight was coming through with that reverse shot. That's kind of something that I think I've seen from Skull Crusaders throughout this season. A little bit of those slight steez plays or those no-look flings, if I'm not mistaken. But either or, Ant Gas, yeah, he'll take the disc, go for that rollout. Maybe a light miscommunication between the teammates, but doesn't really matter too much. They do get the disc back still. But then losing it out to the stun here, so Anime trying to contest, and now Enders, be careful about those shots right there. That male slot is something that he can hit with some nice consistency. Acorn trying to create some space here between himself and the defender. Philibus just roosting up here next to Arrow Knight, trying to wait for the pass to come his way and bother the goalie in the meantime. However, just misreading that one, but actually grabbing it back, looking for the immediate pass to the nest, and Anchor shot will float on out. 5-point advantage coming in for Space Force at the moment, but still 4 minutes left, and that's plenty. As we go for that nice, pass, but just the shot slightly off. Kind of took an awkward release, it looked like, on that shot, but now that one also off. So despite the fact that it's really sticking on this side of the floor, indefinitely almost until this clear, no scores coming through for Skull Crusaders. So now they're just going to have to defend and hope to get a chance to do it again. But not going to be the case, at least not for the meantime, because Arrow Knight gets the backboard pass from Enders. And they need no time at all to convert on their offense, kind of unlike these Skull Crusaders on the other side. That was just immediate for Space Force. Oculus Later in the chat saying, third-person view sucks. I beg to differ. This is a comfy seat. Although from the playing standpoint, yeah, you definitely know anytime you're wanting to compete, it's never, you always cheer on your team, in any sport, as right now Anime is just going to get a 2. But you always like to cheer on your team, of course, if you're watching from the bench, in a sense. But of course, there's part of you always wanting to be in there playing yourself. I get the feeling. Fun fact, I mentioned playing basketball a lot all the time. Back in high school, I broke my fibula landing on someone's ankle, or on someone's foot, and I rolled my ankle, broke my fibula in playing basketball at lunch. As that shot will, oh my goodness, Pyro Polar Bear, hot shot. They are really lighting it up right now. Jeez, but yeah, broke my foot back in high school playing basketball. Within about 4 days, I was back on the court playing in a splint. A week after that, I was back on the court playing in a giant boot. Did not want to sit out. So I understand. I understand. If nothing else, playing basketball with a big old boot is actually very helpful. The defense really doesn't want to get stepped on, so it was kind of clever that way. But in any case, getting the steal here, Pyro Polar Bear over to Enders, over by that Merc and that side wall, going to the bow tie. Pyro Polar Bear just missing the grab. At the moment, few missed passes, but really not being punished for it at all here as they roll up into the floor. Going for that cross pass again, and it's going to be off, so back to the hands maybe of Skull Crusaders. They're going to have less than 2 minutes now to, if not come back, at least get some points on the board and start feeling good and get that rhythm going. There it is, Soisy taking a deep shot! Oh, beautiful hit from Soisy! An absolutely perfect placement in the sense that if it was just a hair lower, that would not have gone through. So that was as good as Soisy could have hoped for to buy themselves 7 points. It might still be a little bit too late to get that comeback in round 1, but I mean those type of shots, just being able to visibly get an eye on those discs going in and getting those points on the board, that can really do good for those feel-good mentalities. But that said, feeling really good obviously is Space Force. I mean, they've made very few mistakes this round, and they are just capitalizing on every opportunity. It doesn't seem like, for the most part, once they get near that bubble, they're not wasting a ton of time or missing a lot of shots. Like, once it's in here, they're finding their points. So back up by 9 now. not going to be enough time to come back in round 1, but as I was saying, you still have at least 10 more minutes left to play after this. And anything you can get going here on the rhythm end, like this one, a nice pass to Soisi, backboard, but dinging off and taken by Anime. But yeah, anything you can get going here late is still going to help you, mentally speaking, going to the next round. So that's kind of what we're playing for here, or what Skull Crusaders are playing for, as Anders, Pyro Polar Bear rather, gets a pass, and now Anime for life has it stolen by Acorn. 17 seconds left, and with a clear and a very quick boost, if they can get it, they might have a shot at it. Overshooting both of these teams a little bit as Arrow Knight takes the disc away. He's going to look for that bounce shot, and may have been good had it not been for Philibus playing the back line before that deep clear. All right, so 18-7. Very, very strong round from Space Force. Sometimes I'm not sure what to think about Space Force. I mention this a lot. When they are on a roll, I mean, like when they're going, they are going. They're hitting their shots, their passes. They impress. I suppose it's just more so on the, the consistency end in terms of, what I can expect, because they have these cold spells sometimes, but when they are on, like they are in this first round tonight, I mean, it's so impressive. It's like they can't miss, and they can do no wrong almost. So I think that's really the key for Space Force going forward and into Season 2, is just finding what makes them tick and somehow being able to apply that, to a more consistent, broad stretching basis. I think that's the thing for them. For Skull Crusaders, just a tough go of things there, kind of not finding themselves in a too good of a rhythm with some of those passes, the stacks kind of falling behind there to Space Force. That's nothing that can't be adjusted for. And quite frankly, I would expect it in the second round, so we'll see how that goes. But, the first, just firmly in the hands of Space. But all right, that said, we got a raid there from VRML Channel 2. Well, hello, folks. Thanks for joining us. By us, well, I mean me and the Twitch chat, of course. And welcome you guys to the stream for the start of this second round. The first one being taken by Space Force in a strong fashion, just like that joust was pretty strong in itself. 18-7 was that first round score. Space Force really just converting on a lot of goals, especially some open threes. Really did some damage against Skull Crusaders. And we'll just have to kind of see what we've got going here for the rest of the way. But Skull Crusaders are a team, giving them full credit throughout the course of the season and how much they've really come along, and they've impressed in some of their games for sure. They've gotten a lot of exciting matches for Skull Crusaders in terms of, these really tight games, close games, overtimes, game winners, things like that. Skull Crusaders proven to be a very strong team here in their division, and still on a mission with 9 minutes to get on the score sheets. But again, some of that disarray here, not really going in favor of anyone quite yet, still scoreless. D Bugatti in the chat, also calling the round 2 in favor of them, Chiragon Skull Crusaders, and certainly a possibility. We'll just have to see. I mean, I think so far, at least denying any score for Space Force for this first minute. That's a good sign. They do have possession, but, if you can get any kind of stoppage on that pace that Space Force was playing, I mean, 18 points is no joke, especially these days in today's meta. Now getting it back, though, is Arrow Knight, and he's going to dump it in there on a briefly exposed goal. The goalie had just left trying to dive out on it, so finally 2 points here. But like I said, despite the fact that Skull couldn't score on that possession, at least they held him off for that minute and a half just about. If Space just continues that pacing and looks like they're going to score 20 points again, that's what I'm talking about, that kind of consistency from Space Force. If they do it again, I mean, it gets ugly against any team they're playing. Now that said, that turnover, oh, definitely not what the doctor ordered there. That's 5 points now, 2 minutes in. Skull Crusaders just needing to find ways to kind of cut down on those turnovers and not allow Space Force to convert on open goals. As much as anything, that's what killed them, because there were at least 9 points, if not more, in round 1 that were on open threes, essentially, for Space Force, and that's huge. So conceding an open 3 there, definitely not the look that they want to give up. But that said, Antgas here, they're only down 5. They've got 7.5 minutes. They've got plenty of time. That overshoot there, a bit misread by Arrow Knight. So Philibus will try and dive on in, but just going to bounce it off that barrier there. And I couldn't quite convert, so over on the other side here, be Space Force with maybe another open goal and just missing. So very fortunate for Skull Crusaders not paying for that miscue as it does go into the other side once more. But there you go, the boosted players from Space Force just getting first to the disc on an awful lot of these occasions. But that said, Philibus, very nice job playing the lanes. You'll have a small window, and it's going to be cut off nonetheless by Enderslot. So again, as I said, this is really... We'll see what happens here first before I speak too soon. Trying to get the disc back and just a good stun coming out, but the shot will go for Pyro Polar Bear. 7-0. But what I was trying to get at is no matter how you look at it, you know, on paper you say, well, definitely the rhythm is not favoring Skull Crusaders, but the fact that they were only down by 5 points and now by 7, but that's still not an insurmountable margin. That's really nothing in Echo Arena, especially with this amount of time left. So it's just kind of a test of being able to, you know, just slow it down a bit and collect your thoughts and start connecting on some of these plays, because a lot of these turnovers a little bit unforced. Going in there, it's Space Force. That's full force at that. That's 9-0. So again, thanks everyone for joining us. I see the numbers popping up, no doubt due to that raid. Just Space Force continuing to roll. I mean, like I said in round 1, when they're rolling like this, there's not much else I can say. They're playing a very near flawless game for the most part. You know, there's a couple of these scrambles that have happened, but other than that, I mean, look at this. Another grab, this time from Anime for Life. He's going to have a slow shot that will just miss. Maybe his own rebound. Getting it there is Enders, and Enders sending it over to the sidewall, the wedge, and that's going to be cleared on out. So kind of see what's going on here on this side with the stacks. I mean, you can see all the punches coming through, and it buys plenty of time for Anime for Life to get that disc right back. So that's what I mean. Even there, I mean, Skull was trying to get the stacks, but Space denying it with some good stuns and just delaying as much as they needed to, as Pyro will dump it back out there. Maybe one pass too many, but they'll still maintain possession of the disc. There's Arrow Knight going to the outer edge of the bubble, and he's going to back it out now. Enders, that is, for Space Force. They got less than 5 minutes left. Up by 9 points. Up by a couple more. A good dive and a stun, but unfortunately will still go in. And that's the second time, at least, if not the third time, we've seen an almost save transition into a goal. So 11 for Space Force. But Antgas trying to go for that pass. And you can kind of see, again, the rhythm just not, seemingly not there today. Because, you know, aside of Space Force definitely doing good job defensively, some of these errors are just kind of unforced, and one of those things you typically see when teams are just not in the rhythm they want to be. Space Force, another couple points though. It's Pyro Polar Bear.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7.
So over in the tunnel, trying to gather a little bit more. National Agency in the chat saying, hey guys. Well, hello as well. Welcome to the chat and this stream. Trying to see how the rest of this round goes. Might be finishing out those Space Force, really trying to sweep it if they can. These passes here a little bit off. Good midline defense being played. But positioning there nicely from Acorn. And Acorn trying to go down to the pass, but just miscommunication will go to the tunnel. Now, again, kind of a game of the stacks, but you can see Space Force. It's Arrow Knight yet again, but the missed shot. So good job to get back here, at least for Skull Crusaders, not conceding the fact that, yeah, the goal was open, but they still had time to maybe get that attempt back on it, and they did. However, thrown into the hands of Anime for Life, who will roll up with a soft pass, but maybe mishandling it off the wall now. It's Arrow Knight. Has a couple options to pass to, but misplay on that one. So Space Force a couple times the last few minutes. They're missing a couple of these passes and open goals now. But again, with that shot just about in, we'll be looking for an anchor, unable to convert on that one, taking it out of his hands. Antgas getting stunned, but right out from beneath, it's Enderslot, and somehow gets it into the goal. Actually, Anime, I think it was. Enderslot trying to save the goal, and that makes a third or fourth time now that we've seen that, but this time favoring Skull Crusaders, actually. So they're going to take the points any way they can get it, and certainly that's going to be at least good to stop a little bit of the bleeding here with 2:20 left. So let's see what happens. But Space Force now at the point with this amount of time, they're just going to try and bide their time and play, play it in control if they can. That said, losing control here for a moment as the defense starts to get really aggressive because they need to for Skull Crusaders. So there's a deep clear. Now they need to get that quick boost. There it is. They don't get the regrabs they needed. It doesn't matter because Acorn gets that goal, bouncing it off from 50 meters deep. How about that? 13-5. So super unlikely but possible comeback about to form. I mean, again, this is going to require some very quick plays. I think definitely the momentum starting to shift for Skull Crusaders because Space Force the last couple minutes have been missing some of these shots and passes. That said, there's another missed pass. So that's the thing. The momentum has started to shift, but I think it's a matter of the clock. The clock is not going to be friendly to Skull Crusaders right now. So basically at every opportunity, they need to go for every boost possible. Right there, maybe an open shot, or a 2-on-1 shot rather, to bring it ever the more close and getting a score just from 7 meters. So couldn't quite get the anchored 3, but it will be the 2. Really needed a 3 in that situation, I think. I mean, they still have time. It's a 6-point match. But less than 60 seconds, and to get 2 threes, it's going to require some huge heroics from Skull Crusaders. That said, they've scored 2 or 3 times in a row now, so you never know. But it's going to have to come out really quickly here as another misplay here from Space Force. So, I mean, staying alive by the skin of their teeth, but over to Anime for Life in the mid lane. So one more recovery, and now with only 30 seconds left, this is just about gonna do it, unfortunately, for Skull Crusaders. Had there been 1 more minute left on this clock, 1 more minute, as one more shot goes out, this very much could have been a different result in round 2. But Space Force are gonna close it off by the end here, scoring 15 points. Skull Crusaders putting together 7. Not quite enough to come away with a win or a comeback and force that round 3. So that will indeed conclude this match and this series. And good game for Space Force and Skull Crusaders. All right, so we'll deliver you guys over to the score screen quickly here. Look at the highlights, and once again, I'm going to look at what we've got going on the schedule. Looks like, oh look, we're almost back on schedule. It's a miracle, folks. Another match scheduled to start literally right now. Just turned to the top of the hour, and it will be, it's like Ace versus Chaos. All right, so I think what we're going to do, let me communicate a little bit with my fellow casters. Looks like they may be there in the area. So, okay, I'm going to leave you on the screen for a moment. We're going to switch over, and hopefully in the next, within the next 5 minutes or so, we'll be getting into that game of Ace versus Chaos. And following that will be Boosty Boys versus Chaos, and that will be our last match of the night. So, bear with us for just a second and hang tight. All right, guys, so what we're going to actually do here is divert indeed to that Chaos versus Ace match. We're going to end the stream only for a moment as we switch over camera duties to So Much for Subtlety. So hang tight, we'll be right back.